welcome to Liverpool 12th Man Show. It's a late edition, late night adult swim only, I guess, or something like that, because we are certainly going to be getting into some basic ideas of who I believe is the team of the year. I know that some people are going to have some problems with the selections I've made, but it's all good. That's what the point of having the show is for, so you can give your own opinions and then also combat them against those that think elsewise. So looking forward to see how people look at this presentation I have ready for you guys, and we'll certainly see if you agree or disagree with some of the choices that we have along the way. We also will be doing, we'll be doing update, or not update, but we'll finally be bringing you a proper presentation for the Fantasy Football League that we held. It was a long year for a lot of us. We made some adjustments and everything, but we actually got there at the end. There were some people that kind of quit a little bit towards the middle, probably because of, I get it, teams aren't going well for you and everything else and yada, yada. But it is what it is. But shout out to Mark A. Hopefully you will email me so I can get the address and where you want me to send the prize. And also a shout out to all that participated as well in the Fantasy Football League. It was a lot of fun this year, actually. I haven't done fantasy football or fantasy sports in a long time. Got talked into doing it this year because it's not easy. I understand that. It's not easy because you're up there hoping players do well and everything. I'll look, if you send it to me, Mark, I'll look for it. I just haven't checked my email just yet. I still got to text back or send an email back to Norm, who was a real proper brother, and got me a champions book, or and also got to give a shout out to Mark A as well, who has won this big prize. So I will definitely look for it, and I'll just send you the information. I'll get the information ready, because it's not just a book. It's a person. It's going to be personally signed, like as in. That's why it's pretty cool. George Scott's going to sign the book for you, so it should be super cool, and it'll be a definitely collector's type prize, and certainly something worth enjoying as well. So big up. Also, let me make sure I have all this ready to rock and roll. Also, we have what I think is going to be pretty fun to do, which is going to be a team of the season. I don't know if a lot of you are going to agree with all the selections I've made on this list. I'm somewhat prepared for that, I guess you could say. I'm certain that there's going to be those in the comments section, and that's what it's there for. That can definitely tell me what I got right, what I got wrong, or why you disagree with this or why you disagree with that. And make sure I have everything. I'm going to make it all really super cool to see. And let me see. Yes, big up. And I'm bringing this presentation style. Shout out to Lady Southward in the house. Big up. M. Tarmizi in the house. This is probably a little bit easier for M. Tarmizi for his hours. So I'm glad to see that M. Tarmizi shows love by definitely tuning in. And also big up to M. Tarmizi, because I value he's someone I actually value their opinions. I value everyone's opinion in the chat, but M. Tarmizi, when it comes to our Asian players, I definitely appreciate the insight he brings to me, because I love a lot of the players over there in the Asian continent, and those playing abroad as well. So I appreciate the fact that he does bring that for me. Let me also get this ready to be a slideshow. So we have it ready, and I'm hoping that you're ready because there's been a lot. I mean, you know, there's a lot because this time we're back to put some crowns on some people that deserve crowns for the performances this season. Yes, I would say certainly so. Mighty Reds, our Premier League champions, once again, we're the champions, but there are some that did play well for other teams. I know title number 20 is super, super bright in front of us, but it's also our Premier League crown number 2 in the Premier League era. But first, we hope it is a golden era under Arne Slot, and I hope that maybe one or maybe two of these players possibly join our ranks as well in trying to bring us some glory. So, in a season of tactical revolutions, that's right. I'm dropping big words here. Tactical revolutions, squad rotations, and spine-tingling drama. We outlasted Arsenal, and yes, that is a third time that Arsenal have become bridesmaids and left Manchester City way in the dust, which is awesome. And let me key on this, trophyless. Who cares about this other whatever World Cup of club teams or whatever it is right now? It was historic. It was emotional, and it was ours to enjoy. So today we're going to bring you the ultimate celebration, and that is the Liverpool 12th man team of the season. Our definitive 11. I have a couple of spots open on the bench for you guys to fill in your own selections, and we'll kind of we'll fill out the bench. I have 6 players on the bench. That means we'll have to fill out 3 more if you want. Because I do have an honorable mention, quote unquote, but the honorable mention is the bench, I guess you could say. I've gone deep into it with I've reviewed a lot of different angles for it. I've gotten into, I am about statistics, so got pretty much every stat crunched and looked at. Every heroic performance as well. So we'll start at the back and work our way to the front with the guardians of the net. And let's find out who stood tall amongst the shot stoppers. So I'm going to bring in Nolante. I'm going to bring in Nolante too. Nolante, how are you doing? I see you got your tux on.
Yeah. Yeah, all good 12, man. Oh, man, it's been a long week, man. Oh, good, man. And let me just, yeah. Hold on, 2 seconds.
Yeah. Go get yourself situated. Oh, yeah. That's a proper tux. That's a proper tux.
There you go. You know what it is, exactly. But yeah, big up, man. Big up 12.
So I'm going to bring up these. These are some of the selections. I'd love to hear who you think is going to win, but I do have a particular winner. Let me make sure that I bring up this properly. I'm going to bring it in like this. Make sure I have a whole presentation ready for you. So I want large on this one. No sound effects, but I dig a large. I dig a large on this one. So, all right. So, the goalkeeper position. Big up Red for Life, by the way, and Bonkers, Cedric. Big up to you guys as well. Shout out to all of you in the chat joining us, and a special big up to Nolante joining me for this presentation. The goalkeeper position was an interesting one to do this year. It's evolved. Distribution matters. Sweeping. Being a goalkeeper, sweeper keeper matters. But in the end, saves still win games, and you got to hold it down. So your nominees of goalkeeper of the season are Ali, Ederson, Dean Henderson, Hermansen, Leno, Martinez, Pickford, Ramsdale, Raya, and Matt Sells. Now, it's an interesting list. I'd love to hear who your choice would have been, Nolante, in this list, if you were to choose one. And you guys can all guess and see who you think is going to win. Who would you think is going to be a part of that list, or who would have been your goalkeeper of the season?
For me, look, it's been a decent season. I mean, again, all those goalkeepers have been decent, but for me, if you're narrowing down to two, in my opinion, I think it would be Ali and Sells, in my opinion. But I would give it to Sells. I gotta be honest. And as much as Ali has been great for us, don't get me wrong. You know,
Right.
Sells has had the most clean sheets,
Yep.
and Nottingham Forest have really pushed themselves, and their defense has been mean. And it's not just the clean sheets, but they've been up there. And obviously, they only just missed out Champions League. You know, we kind of slacked in the end and Ali a bit, but been great. But for me, yeah, Matt Sells deserves it.
All right. Now I will tell you this. Nalante does not have any prior knowledge of the winners or losers in this rankings, but this is why I definitely value and appreciate Nalante's expertise, because the winner is Matt Sells. I agree with you completely. Look, no goalkeeper had more clean sheets than Matt Sells this year. I know he's a no nonsense Belgian, but I mean there was no waffling in him this season. He had 13 clean sheets. It was tied with Rhea, but still all the same. Beyond that, his stats were outstanding. He had 120 saves, that's fourth most. 72.6% save percentage, that's the top 4 in the league. 4.3 goals prevented versus goals per game, which is exceptional. Sells wasn't flashy, he wasn't trendy, but he was everything to Forest this year, and surprisingly so, by the way, because Forest was a team that none of us really had doing anything close to what they did this year. And in a club punching above its weight, Sells punch back every week. I think he's a deserving goalkeeper of this award. And I know some of us want to give it to Ali, but Ali, just because of the 3 months period of him being out, it kind of eliminated him from being a real notable candidate for this. And trust me, I would have rather, if I could have, I would have brought up Kelleher as a possible person, but then everyone would have pushed back on that as well. So I get it. Forest didn't necessarily get a great finish at the end of the year, 7th place, but still the same. That was my goalkeeper of the season. All right. So let's move on to fullbacks. The engine men, the sideline warriors, the fullbacks who defended, created, and changed games from the flanks. On this list, this is split up into a right and a left fullback position. Okay, so you will have a right fullback winner and you will have a left fullback winner. Let me key on that. It's not fullback, period. It's a left fullback and a right fullback. So the nominees are. Do you want me to bring this? Is the graphic too small, by the way, too? Or can you see it? I just want to make sure you can see it.
Yeah, it's a bit small, 12, but I'm just getting it close so I can see. Yeah, that's fine. I'm just putting my screen closer so I can see. But yeah, all good.
Okay, so nominees are Olaena, Ryan Aitnouri, Trent Alexander-Arnold, Cucurella, and then you have Vardial, Kirkes, Munez, Robinson, and you also have Spence and Wan-Bissaka. So you see them split up, by the way. You can see that Wan-Bissaka, Spence, Munez, Alexander-Arnold, and Anya are all your right back options. Your left back options, Aitnouri, Cucurella, Vardial, Kirkes, and Robinson. Who do you have as your winners? Who would have been your winners if you're picking a left and a right fullback?
For me, 12, to be honest. Oh yeah, big up the chat as well. Big up yourself, Cedric. Marianne, thanks for the shots. Big up and big up everyone else, man. Hope everyone had a good day today. I want to talk about the UK over here in my side. Typical British summer. If those wind, rain, a little bit mix. Oh, honestly, trust me, need to get out of it. But back to the more important, back to the hand 12, this team of the season. You know what? Funny enough, I done this with Brian a couple of weeks. I was it last month? Of just not. I think a couple of weeks ago. I think originally I picked Aina of Nottingham Forest, but out of that list, I mean Trent on there. Is that sympathy, folks for Trent 12?
I'm not
Trent
giving
on this
away.
list.
I'm not giving away the answers.
All right, you're gonna play your cards to your chest. Okay, you're gonna do blackjack. We're playing chess right here. Okay,
Yeah,
you're
yeah,
gonna
yeah.
use your queen. Yeah, but you're gonna
I'm
use your
seeing how
bishop.
the
Yeah,
I'm seeing how the chat's going. Red for Life
yeah.
has Kirkaz at left back. Marquez has Kirkaz and Munoz. Red for Life has Munoz at right back. Dustin has Kirkaz and Anya. Anya was also really good. Anya and Vardial, that's who Bonkers is going with. Okay.
Oh, Guardiola, no, hell no. He's been
No.
poor.
All right, all
No,
right.
Guardiola, no. He's been poor, man. He's been not fit.
Okay.
In terms of right back, I said I ain't in per, but I'm gonna change, and I'm gonna change to Munoz. He's a very good underrated player, attacking defensively. And in Crystal Palace's formation, he's been very good since they've improved. And obviously, he won the FA Cup. He won the trophy. Very, very underrated right back. I think he gets slept on. Aina would have been the normal choice, but I'll do that. But yeah, I'm going to pick Munoz. And my second choice for the left back is interesting. I mean, Cucurella, to be honest, because it's Chelsea, he's had quite a decent season. I mean, obviously Kirkers, but you know what? So if you're gonna like this choice, I'm gonna go for the fellow American,
All right. All
Jedi.
right.
Jedi, yeah, I think he's had a very good season at Fulham,
Mm-hmm.
uh, and plus, double digits assists, up and down. Like I said, I mean, Kirkus is the one, but I think Robinson, the slight edge for me, slight
Okay.
edges him out. So
Okay.
yeah, Jedi for me.
Okay.
And just to let everyone know, it's just for purpose announcements. 12 has not paid me to say that. Nobody's
Nothing.
forced
Yeah.
me.
Exactly.
Okay, this is
These
just
are
my
all
opinion,
his
guys.
own answers.
And that's
That's
it.
why he's on camera. That's why he's
If I
on
had the
camera.
Bible, I'll put my hand on the Bible as a man of God. There you go.
Exactly. Exactly. You can tell
Yeah,
he's not reading any scripts or anything like that.
exactly.
Um, uh, Matt Sells got goalkeeper for this one, and for this I had your winners as Trent Alexander-Arnold as your right back winner. I know that's going to be controversial, but let me say this. In his swan song for as a Red, Trent Alexander-Arnold did some work. And this is why I know it hurts. It hurts, I'm sure. But Trent didn't just wave goodbye. He dropped some serious numbers on the way out. He had 6 assists. That's the most for any right back. He had 41 chances created in open play. Let me repeat that. 41 chances created in open play. That's balling status, especially for a right back. He had 9 total goal involvements, 6.2 open play shot ending sequences. That's number 1, not amongst just fullbacks, amongst all defenders. That's some serious numbers. That's some serious numbers. And I know that some of us might be slightly affected by the way that this guy left the team and what he did and everything else. But this is credit where credit's due. A lot of that is the reason why we won this league. And that's simply said. He did put in some serious work. And he even gave us a little glimpse of what will be possibly missing when he leaves in that last game against Crystal Palace with some great passes in that game too. But that was the right side. Now we go to the left side. And again, Nolante did not get paid. because I did have Anthony Robinson as the choice for left back. I know that it was a very close call because Kirkes was right there with me. It was either going to be Kirkes or Robinson. I think that the reason why I went with Robinson is this: 10 assists. I just spoke about 9 assists from Trent. There's someone that got more. That's Anthony Robinson. Say what you want, but if you're telling me as a fullback you're out assisting possibly one of the best assists, or actually he has the assist record in the Premier League, but one of the best providers or facilitators in the league, and Trent Alexander-Arnold, that has to get noticed. It's the most of any fullback in the league. But that's not where his work ends. He had 496 defensive interventions. Let me repeat that once again. Kirkes has done a well done. But yet he had 496 defensive interventions. That's the first amongst all fullbacks. That's incredible. He's not only doing work going forward, but he's also going back. And he had 284 progressive carries. 284 progressive carries. The only other player that beats him is Vardio. Robinson just didn't defend. He dominated both ends. That's something. Kirkes did very, very well, but he does not have the same numbers as a Robinson. And that's just the plain truth. Last-ditch blocks, the final third crosses. This dude was putting in work. He's putting in work. And I think he needs the recognition. And it's interesting because other than Nalante saying, I'm not surprised because Nalante has an expert eye. So far at least. But but it's been most times when you get to conversating about this, not many people put Robinson in that conversation. And that's a shame because Robinson definitely deserves to be in that conversation with every fullback actually mentioned. To be honest with you. But off these put to the side. But we have a full panel now, so we'll be getting a lot of different insights as to who they think is deserving of some of these awards. So big up to JK. How are you doing today?
I'm all good, bro. Hope you guys cool.
Yes,
all
definitely.
Big up, JK. Easy.
Easy.
Welcome to the show, Brian, the Irishman. How are you?
Very well. Yeah.
Very well.
That's
Yeah.
Good.
Irishman.
Lee, big up, Lee. Welcome to the show. How are you doing?
Big up, Lee. Big up, Lee.
Good to share. Bless Lee.
We all had to get our
Listen,
tuxes on. We had to get our tuxedos on. That's why we had there was a little bit our versions of the tux actually. So that's what we had to do.
He's getting married.
Yeah, it's a big thing. We already went through our fullbacks and our goalkeepers. We ended up giving Matt Sells the goalkeeper of the year, and I gave Trent and I gave obviously Robinson the fullbacks of the year so far. We're going to be moving into the center backs of the year, and obviously this is the wall of the defense. This is the heart of every great team. The men who block, the men who lead, and the men who break through the rhythm. Break the rhythm of every opposition attack. This is pretty much the last outfielding defender that you're going to need to be. This is like the Jack Nicholson. You need him on that wall. Okay, so that's for anyone that even remembers that movie. But these are your nominees for center back of the season. Now. Dan Burn, Gabriel, Gahey, Hoyson, Kanate, Milikovic, Murillo, I think it's Murillo, Saliba, Tarkowski, got a little shiver saying that, and Virgil van Dijk. Those are those. You can't handle the wall. That's right, Red Archer supporter. Jack Nicholson's amazing actor. Who would have been your center backs? This really quick. You don't have to super go into like why they were center back choices. Just of these selections here, these are your 10 selections. These are all obviously fan team of the season selections that were given out to the league via Premier League. Who would have been your choice here? I'll go with JK first. Assistant Latte just drop out.
I'll go Virgil and that lad from Bournemouth. He's gone to Madrid. Huijsen.
Oh, Huijsen. Okay.
Yeah, because for me, he done fairly well. He got to move to Madrid, bro.
Okay.
So I'm going to give it to him and Virgil.
Okay. Brian, who would have been your I know you had a show like this, but if you could just maybe some of these nominees are different than the ones you went with.
I think for me, I would say obviously VVD, and then I'll just have a quick refresh just to make sure. I mean, the Arsenal lads are a shout. They're good record.
I'll make the image a little bit bigger so you can see it better real quick.
Yeah, that's probably Dan Byrne there, is it? Yeah, Byrne. Saliba. Yeah, I've seen that Tarkowski shout to it. I mean, the Gahey stuff. But no, I'll stick with kind of can't remember what we landed on my one, but VVD and Milenkovic. I really like Mario.
Yeah, I know you're big. You're really big on Milenkovic.
Yeah, but I give it this season Milenkovic and VVD. That'd be my choice.
Okay. How about for you, Lee? And then we'll go to Milante.
I'll try see, Gabriel got injured, didn't he?
He did.
I'll try a Saliba and Virgil partnership. Seeing as how they were centre-backs in the two clubs that finished 1 and 2, I'll go Saliba and Virgil because Gabriel got injured, or I might have gave it to him to see what he was like with Virgil in my imagination.
Okay. How about for you, real quick, Milante? Who was your choices? Who would have been your choice of these selections?
Same as Brian, VVD, Milenkovic. Honourable shout out there to Mark Gay.
Oh, wow. Was not expecting the Yankees shout. Okay. All right. Well, player, it hurts to say, but I gave it to Virgil van Dijk and William Saliba. I gave it because Arsenal's Iron Man was 35 starts in the league, that in the league's top defense. You got to give credit to where credit's due. He had the best defense in the league. He had 94.5 pass completion. He was top 3 in tackles, and possession regains is huge. And then he was 260. I didn't really think of him as being someone that was someone that really advances the ball too often by doing progressive carries, but he actually had 260 progressive carries. That's a lot for a center half. He held it together even when Gabriel fell down. I'm sure fell to the injury bug, and I'll give him credit for what guys do. Arsenal had a very good defensive back. Gabriel would have been probably the choice over Saliba, maybe if he had held strong, but he just obviously got injured, and that took him away from being a real positive, progressive nominee for me. But for a center back, obviously Virgil van Dijk, that's simple. That's very simple. Virgil van Dijk, captain, conqueror, Dutchman, makes history, makes Reds history. League high 2,921 passes, 975 forward passes with 80% accuracy. That's phenomenal from a center half. 294 passes into the final third, best in the league. 68.7 duel success, 72.1 aerial duel win rate. VVD is obvious, his elegance and dominance. He's our captain, the first Dutchman to ever captain a Premier League winning team, by the way. I'm very happy that that he's at least with Saliba, who actually is trying to become Virgil van Dijk-esque. So that's how we'll put it that way. All right. Well, then that would bring us to the engine in the room, the engine room of the ship, the place where games are controlled, momentum is seized, trophies are won or lost. That's how I'm told, at least. These are the workhorses, sometimes the pitch wizards, the midfield generals, deep lying architects, whatever trendy name you could think of. These are your nominees. So we have Caicedo, Bruno Fernandes, Marcus Gibb White, Ryan Gravenberch, Bruno G. We have Gameres, McAllister, Rice, Morgan Rogers, Damis Vasilai, and Tonali being your midfield choices. I'll go in reverse order this time. Nolante, who would have been your choice for midfield? You can choose 3 midfielders from that selection. You're on mute too, by the way.
Okay, we're getting to the sticky wiki. Ooh, wee!
Whee! Yeah, there you go.
Okay, right. Okay, the 3, I would say it's difficult. Gravy, Bruno. Gravy, Bruno, and Rice. No, this is hard. I can't.
Let me make the list bigger for you guys.
That's fine. I can see it.
Oh, okay.
Oh, you made them bigger. I can see it. That's fine. Just the first
Okay.
choice. Gravy, Bruno. It's a difficult one because I'm thinking between Rice, Casido, Mac. You know what? I'm going to be a little bit biased and just say Mac.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Brian.
Yeah.
What would have been your 3 if you're choosing from this list?
I have to make your 3 out. I don't know why. Yeah, I don't know why Dom is in that.
This was made by Premier League, the Prem too, by the way, the Premier League.
Yeah, I mean, you got to start with, if you do it like a 6, an 8, and a 10, because obviously coming like a 4-3-3, so it'd have to be Grav with a 6, 8. But I'd almost want to go purely on number. Yeah, I'd almost nearly go sort of Grav, Bruno, Tonali. But I don't want to give it to Bruno. I don't want to give it to Rice. So this just being purely personal now. This got nothing to do with actually. I give it to Grav and Tonali. And then, to be fair, either just like it probably should be Bruno, to be honest, like in terms of just output numbers wise. But I'll give it, my midfield will be Grav, Tonali, and sorry, Rogers, I'm going to give it to Gibbs White. Even though they all fell off massively, but
Okay.
that's definitely more heart than head, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I seen the chat real quick before we get JK's selection. Grav, Mac, Tonali. Dustin gave it to Grav, Mac, and Tonali. Interesting. Kevin said gravy boat all day. Then he said, I think that's all he had there. Hash gave it to Gravy, Caicedo, and Bruno. Okay. Interesting. Showing no bias. That's good. That's good. Honest chat, along with an honest panel. What would have been yours, JK?
Me, I'm going with Gravenberch, of course. Gibbs, White, and Rogers.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think Gibbs White had a top season. Fair play to him, man.
Mhm.
And he moved for big money to there from Wolves a while back now. And we were all like,
Okay.
wow, that's a big fee for Forest to pay, you know what I mean? And I think this season he really sort of showed the world how sort of good he is, you know? So I think fair play, he played pretty well.
Yeah.
Well, that
Okay.
talk him going to Man City turned out to be nonsense, though.
Yeah. And you know, Szoboszlai's stats, I know like we might diss Szoboszlai quite a lot, but against the big six, he's a big game player, bro. Against the big teams, he does well. Like Salah's like at the top of the list, but Szoboszlai second in the whole Premier League. Like who does the best against top six teams? So
This,
that's a bit of
by
a
the way, Kevin, this is just for all midfielders. So you just pick three midfielders. Pick three midfielders in this one.
JK's is very attacking. Grav Rogers and Morgan Gibbs White is very attacking.
Yeah.
That's why I split my 10 between Gibbs White and Rogers. Just to give, but yeah, Gibbs White was. I mean, I remember when we did our team, it got with it, but it was very Forest heavy. Like it was Rio, Milenkovic, Sells, Aina, Gibbs, White. There was a lot of Forest players were getting shouts, you know.
Wow.
So
Okay. Well, before we get Lee's choice, I just want to make sure that we bring in Lady B. Big up, Lady B. How are you?
Oh, I'm great, thank you. 12th, how are you?
I am excellent. Just enjoying another day in Arizona paradise. We are doing we're doing a team of the year. We're now approaching the midfield. We're gonna I have the winners, but I wanted to definitely allow for your opinions and your choices to be heard. I can show you the nominees as well. Make it a little bigger for you. These are the nominees for midfielder. I'll let Lee go.
I don't want to hold it up for anybody. You just carry on.
No. You're not. No. It's never a burden. Let me say. I'll let you look at the selections, and I'll let Lee give us his three, and then I'll come back to you, Bernie, to give me your three choices for midfielders of the season.
Okay.
So, Lee, what would be your three if you're picking three out of this selection?
Gravenberch, McAllister, Szoboszlai. No, I'm only joking. I'd have Gravenberch and Guimaraes can be in it. Don't know how that midfield's going to work, but that's the one because like he was good, wasn't he, for Newcastle, and they got the Champions League and the League Cup. He was the best out of them other ones. He did the best.
That's a good shout.
Rice didn't do anything, did they? They ended up, they're in the Champions League, but you know they were going to be anyway. They didn't win now, did they? I'll give it to Guimaraes.
Okay.
Who was your other one then?
Your other one, yeah.
McAllister and Gravenberch. Yeah, McAllister.
Mac. Right. Okay.
Yeah, I was only joking when I included Szoboszlai. He's been excluded for Guimaraes. I think they were the three best midfielders.
That's a very solid midfielder. That's Grav, Mac, Bruno. That's a very solid.
There's much case to be made for a different three than that. Like I thought they were easily the three best midfielders in the league this season. Guimaraes, Gravenberch, and McAllister. And I won't. Who
would
have been yours, Lady B? Who would have been your three midfielders?
To be honest, I'm going to go with Lee. I agree with him exactly. Just looking through them all, I think he's got it spot on actually. So I'm going with Lee. Identical.
Oh wow! Okay, all right. Simple said, simple does, simple is, and let's see. I think it's obvious who one of them is going to be. I had Gravenberch as being obvious. Gravenberch came to season with question marks around him by a lot of people, some even amongst us. However, some of us definitely fell into line with knowing that Gravenberch was going to be a real baller and a real player this year, especially with the transition in position on the pitch. He ended up doing with exclamation points. Arne Slot moved him deeper into the lineup. People thought, oh, he can't defend. Oh, he can't do this. Oh, he can't do that. From a roaming 8 to a commanding 6, suddenly Liverpool had a bona fide midfielder again at that 6. And it was certainly something to see because he was a ball-winning machine. He had 44 high turnovers, which is the most at the club. Let me repeat that: 44 high turnovers at the club, 193 possessions won. That's first amongst all Liverpool players. That includes obviously our defenders as well. He had 60 interceptions. That's third most in the Premier League for midfielders. That's incredible. He disrupted play, intercepted danger, and launched transitions. It wasn't just numbers; it was presence. Gravenberch was a super big factor in why we were so dominant this year in the midfield. Joining him, I know some people won't like to see this guy, Declan Rice. I get it. 100 million for who some people think is over money wasted, or maybe too much money spent. But Declan Rice didn't win the league. He was a big reason why, though, Arsenal stayed atop the league or stay in that top 4. 59 chances created, career high. He had 5.6 XA, which is the most he's ever had. He had 3.3 XG from set pieces assisted. That's the most in the Premier League. 4.9 possession regains per 90. He led Arsenal. A lot of these numbers are personal bests. That's why it was difficult to go against him. And a lot of people thought that possibly if there wasn't for Liverpool, they would have probably said Arsenal has the best midfield in the league. So I'm gonna give him credit. I'll give him credit, even though they didn't get any trophies in their locker. I still give it to him as my nominee. And then finally, McAllister. I think that McAllister, I'm glad to see some of the panel chose him to be on their list. I see a lot of content creators, especially the rivals and the neutrals, really dismissing McAllister as being a baller this year, really dismissing a lot of his numbers and the likes of what he brought to our team. He was 30 out of 35 of the games he started. He was 1.55 key passes per game. He had 0.26 expected assists per year per 90. He was the EA Sports Player of the Month in April. McAllister was a baller. I think Arne Slot said it best. He said, one of the few players in the world who combines game intelligence on the ball with tenacity off of it. Those intangibles are huge. McAllister was the maestro of our midfield. He was the linchpin for our midfield, and I think that's why you had to give it to him. So again, midfielders: Gravenberch intercepted, Rice orchestrated, and McAllister controlled. That's how I'm going to put it. So you got your core right there. All right. Well, then that brings us to the forwards. Now I'm going to say forwards in the sense of, might as well say, because this was given to me by the Premier League, I allow for it to remain listed as forwards. This is when it says forwards, it's particularly speaking on left wingers and right wingers. So it says forwards, but it's pertaining to left wingers and right wingers. Okay. We'll check something real quick too. Wait 1 second. And most notably in this list, there is a player that is not listed, but I listed him anyway because he wasn't listed in the strikers either, which is kind of disappointing. So Lucho is listed in this list, by the way. Okay.
So I'm assuming we have to pick 2 from this, and then there'll be another category.
You have to pick a right and a left winger.
Yeah, so you're picking 2 from this, and then there'll be another group. You're not picking a 3 from this, just in case people
Right.
think you have
Yes.
to pick
Yes.
3.
There'll be one
another group
strictly
with
for the
strikers.
strikers. Yes.
Yeah, so you have to pick 2 from this, and then you'll be left with 1.
So we have Ilanga, we have Gordon, we have Mbeumo, Saka, Palmer, Murphy, Bowen, Clivert, Salah, Matoma, and Luis Diaz is the right-in candidate that I put in there into that list. Nolante, while I still have you, what would have been your picks? What would have been your left winger and your right winger?
The right again. That's easy. You know the drill. Kim Mo. On the left hand side, it's I'm surprised there's no. All right. Oh, this is a bit of a. Okay, no Lucho. Interesting.
No, he's
Lucho
added
is
Lucho in. He's
Lucho's
added
not
Lucho,
on
yeah.
here, but I wrote him in. I
He's
wrote
not
him
in the.
All right. Okay.
He wasn't
He's
for
available
fantasy.
for selection if you want.
Yeah, because for some reason, for fan team of the season, they didn't have him listed as the forwards, and they don't have him listed as a striker either.
Yeah, it's a bit weird because the positioning of some of these players is a bit weird. Like Bowen, they
Right,
classified
because
it as a
Bowen played
forward.
striker more than he
Yeah,
played winger.
you have to
to
pick
tell you.
2.
Yeah, it's weird. Yeah, the way they done this, they ain't done this correctly. But it is what it is. We just go what's on there.
And try to pick a left winger and a right winger if you can.
Yeah, but it's just got
Oh,
to be
well, I'm
Lucho.
not doing that. I'm not doing that. No, that's not.
Okay,
That's
Brian.
not
Thank you
fair.
for
No, I'll be
Because,
picking 2
just,
from it,
if
but no,
you
I'm just
can
going to
play
say
by the
2. I'm going to.
rules, that's okay. If you want to
No,
abstain from the pick, abstain. That's all.
No, I'll just be picking 2. Yeah, I'll be forcing some guy in on the left end because
No,
my 2
that's
are
exactly
both
why
right
we're
wing.
doing that. You're picking the left winger and a right winger.
Oh, right, okay.
That's it. If you don't want to pick, you abstain. You say
No, that's fine. Well,
not applicable or
it's
something.
no. I only get like to pick from so many, but I think the 2 best guys there play on the right. But okay, so
Right,
leave
exactly.
one of them
I
out.
see a lot of people picking Salah and Mbeumo, but they both play
Well,
the
that's
right
what I
wing.
mean. Yeah, they'd be my 2. I never say like
I'm
it does.
sure they would be, but they both play right wing. Because when we had to pick fullbacks, there was a left back and a right back, and we picked it. On this, they're just I know it says just forwards, but they didn't even put the wingers really properly in there. So that's why.
Yeah, that's okay. But no, that's fine. I didn't realize we had to kind of do it that way. I'm fine to do it that way.
Yeah,
It's just-
you
I
weren't.
was just
You
picking
didn't.
them.
You weren't here when we did the fullbacks. When we did
Yeah, if
fullbacks,
I was just
we had a
picking
left
them
back,
plain
right
up,
back.
like it doesn't matter. It's not a real game. It doesn't matter. Then I just pick. Oh, I'm Mbeumo and Salah. But yeah, if it has to be one left, one right, yeah, I can do that.
Mhm.
I can do that. No problem. I don't know why Matoma is in there. That's a bit of a stretch. That is Matoma, right?
I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that Matoma?
Yeah, there's
Yes, it's
Matoma.
good.
There's Matoma. I'll make
Yes.
the list bigger for you. I'll make the list bigger. All right, let's rock and roll. So Nolante, what were your choices?
So Diaz and Salah on my.
Okay. How about for you, Lady B? What would be your choices on the left side and the right side?
Yeah, I'm struggling to see all of these. I can't see, the.
Okay.
I've got, sorry, Murphy, Palmer, Saka, Salah, Mbeumo. Was that Clivert?
Clivert,
Yeah.
yep.
Private, yeah.
Alanga and Bowen. Sorry, yeah, I couldn't see them. I'm going to go with Mo, obviously.
Mhm.
on
And
that.
Luis Diaz is on the list too. He's just not featured.
Oh, right, okay. I'll probably go with Diaz then. I'm going to be going to stick with
Partial. All right. Hey, I'm not going to stop you. All right. Brian, what would be your choices then if you had to do a left and a right?
But yeah, I mean, Saka on the right, Murphy on the right, Bam on the right. Just leaves me Gordon, Bowen's on the right, Matoma. No, not this year, man.
Matoma's on the
Gordon, not
left.
brilliant. Yeah, it just depends if you wanted to say Palmer plays on the left, which I don't even really did. So it'd have to be Mo and yeah, just almost by default Mo and Diaz. Yeah.
Okay. All right. JK, who would have been your choices for this year?
Yeah, same as Both of them, yeah.
Okay.
That
Lee?
ideas.
Who would have been your choices, Lee?
I'm going to jump on that bandwagon myself. Our two boys.
All right.
Mhm. We all would agreed on that one. So that was cool.
Look at that. I did stack the deck a little bit. I understand.
There's no time at all, does it, as a group to pick that?
I understand, but this is a Liverpool fan channel, so this will be a little bit stacked. All right. I mean, the Premier League.
Yeah,
won't
no,
get
not
my
getting
guy.
espresso, dude. We nearly lost you there.
Yeah.
Mid-stop,
Yeah.
right? We nearly lost you. You're getting espresso, man.
Yeah, I know. It's been a long day.
So Mohamed Salah is obvious. 29 goals, 18 assists, 47 total goal involvements, most goal and assist double-digit games in league history. Trophies followed, obviously records fell. Player of the season by every metric. I had Lucho being my second choice, and why I made Lucho is because, again, it's interesting how a lot of content creators, along with the Premier League, as you just saw, do not give this player that much recognition that he's due. 13 goals this year, 5 assists. Dangerous every week. One of our best creators as well. Stepped up when Nunez wasn't able, or maybe even in some people's minds, faded to the bench. Played multiple roles. Carried us when Salah was out and not available. He was a real difference maker this year, and I think that he should be recognized, especially when you see that Bowen was.
Matoma's in there, man.
Yeah, especially when you
what's
see
that?
that they had Matoma in there, but especially when you see they had Bowen in there. Bowen played as much of a striker, if not more as a striker this year, than obviously because of the tragic injury that they had to their team striker. But still,
Like it was a vote. Was it voted on by fans or something? Is that like was it like a poll? So was it chosen by fans or something? Was they all nominated their best? Because
that's weird. I know.
I'm used to shit with these,
That's what
but
the Premier League
Mitoma, I'm just like, no, I mean, it's not 2023, it's 2024.
Yeah, and he only came into his own in the last few games, didn't he? You know, it wasn't like the whole season. He was amazing.
Owen was only okay this year. He wasn't as good as he was the previous year. It's weird.
Yeah.
So strikers is a little bit different story. Obviously, you see the list of strikers. I want to make this large for you.
You can only pick one.
Yeah, it's only picking one of this list here. So you got to pick your striker of the year, basically. This is
Where's
basically
Darwin? Where's Darwin? What's this bollocks? Strong ass.
Don't say that too loud. I might get in trouble or something.
Lee, get the fosters out.
Not say
Get
it
kicked
all.
out of the fan
Get the
club. Or
fosters
something.
out, Lee.
Who's that boy in the bottom left?
That's
Larson.
Dan Larson.
Yeah,
Well, you can tell
Larson.
it's a stat. It's a stat team.
It doesn't say that.
It's a stat team.
No sign of not Nunes.
Yeah. So obviously, our list for strikers go like this. It goes Cunha, Delap, Holland, Isak, Mateta, Wood, Visa, Welbeck, Watkins, and Larson. Who would have been your? Let's go with Lee this time. We'll start with Lee. Who would have been your striker for team of the season?
I'm going to do the Strand for a laugh. I'm going to stick him at the head
All
of
right,
all this brilliantness behind him. I'm going to stick him
all
up
the
front.
brilliance behind Strand, Larson.
Instead of Haaland, because Haaland was rubbish, wasn't he? He was rubbish. So. Yeah, it'd have to be Isak, I suppose, wouldn't it? Like, would be the easy Isak answer.
Okay, all right. How about for you, JK? Who would have been your?
One guy, Isaac for me.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay. I see in the chat, Chris Wood. Yeah, I see in the
Mhm.
chat, Chris Wood got a shout from Dustin. Hash gave it to Isak. Bonkers to Isak. Let's see.
Yeah, Wissa played good. Yeah.
Okay. Nolante, who would have been your
So
you've all seen the selections, right? I can take down the selections.
yeah, take it. Yeah, I've seen these
Just
there.
make sure.
All good.
Who would have been your striker?
Honorable mentions to Mateta and Cunha. Yeah, good seasons, and Wisa, but it's the same as JK, man. The future
Okay.
Liverpool striker.
Yeah, here you go. Okay. I didn't have Nunez up there though. I don't know. Who'd you vote for? Okay, all right. Look at the straight face. Not even a smirk. All right. Brian, who would have been your choice? Look at your choice.
Wake up, Nolante.
I know.
You
That
nearly
might have
put
been
him out there. You nearly
That might have
Are
hypnotized
been
you,
him there.
Stephen.
are you okay? I'm fine. Are you okay?
No,
Am
no.
I out?
I don't know.
I'm all right.
I
So
know
what's
because you've got a bit of a rep now for. I'm only taking the piss.
Bennett?
There you
Like
go.
like the lad they said honorable mentions all over the shop.
Yeah,
Other than yeah, look, Larson, Watkins, and Welbeck. Okay, cool, whatever. But Delat, brilliant season. Cunha, brilliant season. Mateta, brilliant season. Wissa scored more goals than Mbuemo. Chris Wood, incredible season. Yeah, just honorable mentions everywhere. But there's only one man. Scored more than 20 goals in consecutive Premier League seasons. Even Alan Shearer didn't do that. He scored a lot of goals for Newcastle, but Isak scored 20 plus in the Premier League in consecutive seasons. Alan Shearer never did that. This guy has to be the standout. Even Haaland can't keep up with him. And you'd pay to watch Isak. He can drop deep and he can play. Haaland is just a Haaland thing. So yeah, Strand Larson, Watkins, and Welbeck. Yeah, fair play to getting on the list, lads. Whatever you did, but yeah, full house. I'd imagine full house, maybe so far. So Isak for me.
Okay, I see why possibly they made the choices that they did. Because Strand Larson did make top 10, by the way.
That's a mad one, that, isn't it? Him being in it. Because Cunha was the man up front, wasn't he? He did come in and have a go, that bloke, but I'm surprised he was.
No, Strand Larson was the man up front. Cunha was like floating in behind. Strand Larson was actually, he was playing number 9 for them.
Yeah, that's this is basically the segment you see here. These 10 players represent the top 10 scorers of, top 10 except for obviously Mohamed Salah. But they're all these players are pretty much in the top 10. Who would you have gone with, Lady B, as your striker?
Yeah, no, I was just going to say it's got to be Isak because, well, he came number 2 to Mo, didn't he? And the others, there is a few close behind him. Wissa has had a brilliant season, and so's who was the other one? Oh yeah, Chris Wood. But agree, it's got to be Isak. He's the nearest we've got to Mo.
Okay. All right, let's see. I went with Alexander Isak. I thought he was, obviously number 2 top scorer. He's the top scoring striker in the league. 23 goals, 34 games played. Exceptional year for him. Got himself got Newcastle to their first trophy in 50, 60 years or something like that, right? How long has it been since they won?
70 odd in 1950 something, I think it was.
Yeah. They won the trophy before, but again, you kind of main trophies. You're talking about championship, championship. But yeah,
they won some weird European trophy or something as well. But I think it's like if you're talking about FA Cup, League Cup, or league title, it's something 52, I think.
Well, this was my list that I made here. Just so you know, I did think that there were other players that were definitely needing to be noted. I'm going to star Bonkers' comment there. I got you, Bonkers. I'll bring that up in a second. But let me make this large so that everyone can see the list here. So what I said early in the very beginning of the show, what I said was I had 6 players that I came up with. It was tough trying to figure out a bench for honorable mentions. So I was trying to get 9 players since there's 9 players on the bench. But I only got to 6. So I had Matt Sells, I had Trent Alexander-Arnold, Anthony Robinson, Saliba, and Van Dijk. I also had Gravenberch, Rice, and McAllister, Mohamed Salah at right wing, Luis Diaz at left wing, and at striker, Alexander Isak. But my bench was Tielemans, Mbeumo, Kirkes. I put Kelleher in there as the goalkeeper. I put Milenkovic, and Gibbs White. So, in the beginning of the show, I said there would be 3 other spots. Or who are we missing? And if you wanted to get technical, you could say who you would replace in that bench. But who on this list would you add to it? Or anyone that we're missing?
How about Ali? Alisson?
Who now? I didn't hear what you said.
How about Alisson?
Okay, Ali.
Mm.
Ali's a good shout.
Well,
Ali would probably be there instead of Kelleher if we had to put one in.
I think Kelleher should get a shout. Yeah.
I know he didn't play as many games as Ali, but Ali was out for 3 months. That's why
Yeah.
it was like
And that's when we sort of kick-started our push for the title, you know what I mean? With
that
Kelleher
held
as
us. That held us on to a title. to be
Yeah.
honest. Because we had it wasn't like Ali played all the tough games like against City and against and all that. Like there were some really tough runs that he had to go against Real Madrid. He had to go against City. He had to go against that little stretch where everyone had us. Oh, this is where Liverpool fall off. This is where Liverpool fall off. Kelleher was our goalkeeper.
Was our goalkeeper, yeah.
Yeah, the
Now
only
he's
thing
gone.
that's really changed about that team is Gimmerice instead of Rice.
Yeah, I don't want Rice.
Gimmerice has a better season than Rice, I think.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, I mean, Partey had a better season than Rice.
Well, I think Rice's goals against Madrid in the Champions League made him look like he's world class, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Madrid tax.
He's a good player. Let's not joke
No, he's a
around
good
it. I
player.
think
No,
Rice is actually a good player, bro. And I think
he's good.
for me, he was the ideal Henderson replacement, for example. If I was thinking of a player when Henderson was about to leave or this, that, and the other, I was thinking, yeah, Rice. He could be mentioned,
Yeah.
I think the price tag has really done him no favors. You know what I mean? So, and the thing is,
Okay.
he
How
could
about
stay
this? How about this?
at Arsenal for a long time and not win anything.
How about
Look at Harry
this? How
Kane. I'll
about
give you a
this?
quick example. Harry Kane has scored so many goals. He's won 1 trophy. Joe Gomez has never scored a goal, and he's won like 10 or something like that. Like weird. So it's weird.
I was going to ask this of the bench, of the players I got on the bench. Who do you agree with? Who do you agree with? Do we have any consensus picks on the bench? I'll bring the list back up for you, and I can. I'm going to allow for each of you to get a bench player. So, who on the bench? Are we all in agreement that Tielemans deserves to be on the bench?
He had a good season.
He had a great season.
Mhm.
Tielemans.
Respect.
Better than Rodgers, though.
That's the thing.
We got 3 more spots that we can put in. I'm just saying. We got 3 more spots, 3 more players we can put into it. I'm just trying to get who we have as consensus, and then I'll remove whoever we don't. We can all pick the bench. I'll make it.
I think if Rodgers is not getting in the first 11, he should be on the bench.
Minimum, yeah.
Rodgers will get on there. I'll put Rodgers in there. So that's 7. All right. So, but Tillemans, are we all good with that? I'm asking Brian, Lady B, Lee.
No, I wouldn't have Tielemans on the bench. No.
All right.
Yeah, agreed.
So 2 no's. Lee, would you have Tillemans on the bench?
No.
Okay. It's tough. All right. So that's Lady B. You can make it even or you could seal his fate. Tillemans on the bench for you?
No.
Oh wow. Okay. Great. Oh man, that sucks. Tillemans. I thought he had a good season, by the way. But all right. Ramos obvious. I think everyone will put him in. Kirkez, I think is pretty obvious. I think everyone will put him in. Milenkovic.
Good shout.
Milenkovic, I think is a pretty even shout, right? Bench.
Yeah, no. Tielemans had a brilliant season. It's not about that. He's top team of the season, though. That's what I think. There's probably a couple of guys out there, but yeah, I have Milenkovic in my starting 11, so he's a yes from me anyway. Milenkovic.
Okay. Is everyone else okay with that?
I prefer Caicedo to Tielemans as a sub. So
We'll get there.
We'll get there. There's spots open still. I'm just trying to get the consensus on these. Milenkovic?
Yeah, 100%.
Yes. JK? Lady B?
Yes. Yep.
Yes. Okay. Lee, yes.
Yeah.
Nolante? Yes. No.
You got thumbs up, yeah.
Gibbs White. Gibbs White is a pretty consensus, right?
Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
I'll put him in my team.
Obviously, just added Rodgers. Okay, so now it gets to Kelleher, or would you rather have Ali on the bench as a goal? We need one goalkeeper.
Ali.
Oh, Alice. Yeah, Alice.
You put Ali over Kelleher?
Yeah.
Okay.
If he's not, if the other one isn't starting in the actual team, Sells is starting. So yeah, Ali. Yeah.
Sells as a starter. Yes, Sells ahead as a starter. All right.
I would
So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we're back to 6 players. We still need 3 more players left. We have.
I wouldn't have Gibbs White on the bench, but obviously all the rest of the guys would. So
You wouldn't have Gibbs White. This is like one of Gibbs White's
I
best.
don't know what are the choices. It's just like I definitely.
Well, no, that was just a yes or no question. It wasn't a choice. It's just sort of a does everyone agree which Gibbs White kind of thing. So it wasn't.
I thought everyone would have had Gibbs White on there. That's interesting.
It's up for debate for me. Gibbs White. I haven't fought one of the ones to this, but like I know one of them would have definitely went on the bench.
How about Caicedo? Does he make the list?
Nah.
Okay, I knew
No.
I was not going to do this before.
I want him, yeah. I like him. I want him on the bench as a midfielder.
Caicedo, no. Caicedo, Lady B.
Oh, is he a consensus one? Is he?
No. I'm just throwing names out there now. This is the 3 open spots that we have. I was just throwing.
Yeah, he was the one I wanted instead of Tielemans, so I'm having him like I'll say yes to him. See what
I saw in the chat. That was Hash said Caicedo and Eze as his choices. That's what we were all saying. Eze seems.
Oh
to
well,
be,
yeah. The choices. The one that I think we haven't. No one's mentioned him at all. Deserves a place on teams is Munoz, the wing back at Palace.
Yeah. Yeah, good
I think
season.
he's been one of the best players this season. He'd be my shout anyway. I'm not saying he has to go on, but he would be one of my shouts. For...
All right.
We'll
do a majority rule. Yeah, do you second that? You got to have a second. Do we have a second?
Yeah, I'll second that for Munoz.
Okay. All right. So it goes to a vote now. JK, are you yes or no on Munoz?
Yeah, for a sub, yeah, no problem.
Lady B, are you yes or no on Munoz?
Yes.
Okay. And Nolante, just to have your vote count, yes or no on Munoz?
You know my position on it. I had him, so
Oh,
you know
yeah.
what to do.
All right. I'm
Full
gonna go
house.
no. I'll go against it. I don't know.
Oh, nearly a full house. Nearly a
There
full
you go.
house.
There you go.
Wan-Bissaka.
I'm already voted out. That's why I'll be the Maverick. All right.
Mel Gibson.
All right.
Mel Gibson. Yeah.
All right. So you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. All right. We need two more players. Who's the
A lot of
second?
shouts for Eze. A lot of shouts for Eze in the
A
chat.
lot of
I've
shouts
seen
for
3
Eze.
already.
Can
Elon,
you run through
Michelle?
the list? 12?
I was going to say, could
Well,
Well,
I
no,
don't have a
this is
list.
just there is no list now. We're just giving out
You're just picking.
shouts.
This is
Could I
honorable
throw,
mention.
can I throw a name in?
Yeah, go ahead.
Tyndall.
Miles
Jason.
Tyndall.
Tyndall.
Jason first name.
Jason Tyndall.
Well, he's going to be the manager.
Big
He's going to
C.
be the manager of this team.
I was
He's-
going to say,
he's-
I was going to say Miles Lewis Scully. I quite like the look of him.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah,
Young,
you
You're
know,
not going
I
all
was going,
Marion Southward on us now, right? You like the look of him? Is that what you, or
no, as a player,
player.
as a
You
player.
know, Jason. Really?
Jason's going to hear about this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I've seen him in a few. I've seen him in a few. Like what we're doing now.
No,
I've seen him in
yeah.
a few of those. Yeah.
I have to.
Yeah, I think people are just going OTT with him.
Yeah.
Maybe he's a bit young, yeah, but I think he's a great talent.
Mm-hmm.
Arsenal
Who
tax.
else?
Liverpool channel. Arsenal tax ain't gonna happen.
Yeah, ain't gonna happen.
I don't want him in my team. He's going to get
Oh,
sent
Exactly,
off
there
most
you
of the
go.
times anyway.
It's good, but yeah.
It'll cost us.
I was waiting for JK. I don't want him in my team. There you go. That's your
All
Arsenal
right,
tax, right?
yeah,
there.
just put Tyndall in for me then, okay?
All right, that's it.
Here you go. First
And I'm
name
done.
Jason. Suspect.
No, what we need to do, Barney, what we need to do is we need to come up with an 11 of players whose initials are JT.
Yeah.
Oh,
That's what we need
There
to
you
do.
go.
Oh, that name is. Oh, that brings back this, JT.
Well, we all know who's starting at centre half.
yeah.
Justin Timberlake.
Captain.
Yeah. He's bringing the sexy football back. Bring the
Great
sexy
sexy
football
back.
back.
Be the same,
Great. There you go. Oh my goodness. All
That's
right.
the truth. I think
Back.
Justin
We only
Timberlake
need two more
is a good
positions.
eye.
You need two more players. You need two more players. Let's get back.
Well, I'll go
Oh,
for
Justin
Eze.
Timberlake up
My
front.
vote is for Eze.
I think Eze deserves to be in this too.
Yeah,
He's got a lot of shouts from the chat.
But I think he's going to end up staying at Palace. Watch. He ain't going to get a move. Watch.
Yeah, I
Right,
fear
no.
Know what I
for
mean?
it too.
All right.
I fear for it.
Oh, no. I wouldn't blame him, to be honest. Europa League football. I mean, another year. Yeah.
He's
Who
26
would
now.
have
I
been?
think he needs that big move. Get him that big
Who's-
move, man. He can go and perform. He's looking at Cunha and Mbeumo going to Man United. He's thinking, would I be better off at Man United than Palace? Probably.
I'll never understand
No.
how they can go to Man United. I know the wages, I know that, but career-wise is a no-go.
It's just, Jackie, it's just for history. History FC, that's what it is, isn't it? The name in it.
Bro,
Watch
They
these
can
boys
take it.
next year, JK. They have no European football. They're putting together Mbeumo, Cunha. Watch.
but they still got the
Just
rest
keep
of the
an eye
mess
on Man
there, won't
United
they?
next year. Not saying they'll be straight up. They're not
No, they're
finishing
going to be
lower than
straight.
eight.
They're going to be straight. Yeah, they're going to be straight.
They're not
No,
finishing
but I
lower
don't
than
see
eight
it like
next
that.
year.
I just think they're going to get really, because for me,
No.
defensively, they're a mess. Who they got in
No,
defense?
they're gonna
they're
get it
going to buy
right, man.
Cunha. They got Cunha, actually. But
It
defensively,
hurts
they're
me
not
to-
tight.
You got to finish your statement. Finish your statement. Sorry.
No, I just thinking like United, bro, the whole project of Man United every day, like they got Cunha in quick time, so he signed. And I'm thinking Cunha, there was people even mentioning, oh, I'll take him at Liverpool. Thank God we didn't, bro, because for me, football-wise, you cannot go to Man United or Chelsea. It's not really good. It's not good for you. And these guys are just going for the money, and that for me is a bad move for Cunha. I just feel he deserves better, like with the talent he's got. You don't want to get Man United, not with the league position they've got.
But tell you what we'll do. If he has a terrible season, next season we'll buy him off them. In case we haven't
He's
put
tainted
ourselves
now, bro.
right by then.
Nah. But it's just weird how football agents. I said this yesterday that if I know I've got a good agent, I'll know he ain't going to tell me about Man United are interested in me or Chelsea. He's not going to tell me that. It's like, no. You're not going there. You know what I mean? You might get an extra 100 grand a week, and I might get an extra 20, 30 grand a week, or whatever it is. But you don't want to send your players there.
To be honest, I thought it was entirely plausible that we might go for him, seeing as how Arnie name checked him when we played Wolves. Which like to have a player like that in the team at 17th, blah 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 blah. I thought, well, we might go for him, you know, but you know, it didn't mean sod all. Like at the end of the day,
Yeah, you know what I mean?
the fact that it's very different to Holland in that respect. But I like him, yeah. I wanted him, like, and I thought there was a chance of getting him. But it's a good double signing for them, though, isn't it? And Bremo and Cunha. Like, that doesn't sound like a bad back three on the face of it. Yoro, De Ligt, and Sandro, all three are good players. But it's just whether they can knit together as a side, like, with this Abraham formation. I don't know if he's going to make any signings in midfield or what. What do you think? Think he'll still have Casemiro? He will. Only Casemiro's deal runs for a bit longer, doesn't it? Don't know what he has.
I think Rashford's done. I don't think Rashford will go back to United. I just got a funny feeling he might go somewhere. But for me, United are a mess.
They're trying everything to get rid of him, JK. They're trying everything to get rid of that guy.
Yeah.
Rashford is done.
He's done.
The same with Jadon Sancho.
Yep.
I read it wrong the other night. We were finishing up the show. It's like I'd read the tweet wrong. Like Chelsea did pay that $5 million to send Sancho back to United. So right now, Man United have Sancho on 250, Rashford on 300k, and Anthony all arriving back off loans. None of them wanted, and that's probably about £1 million a week in wages. And it's insane what's going on there.
Leverkusen are looking at Anthony. If Wirtz comes to us, they're looking at Anthony. So, and he's
been brilliant for Betis, but I know 12th man probably wants to finish the thing here. We got
you only have one more. Yeah, we need one more player.
Yeah, we only need one more player.
One more player. That's all I wanted to do.
But
one last player.
So we've got Eze and Munoz, right? Eze and Munoz.
I put Eze and I put Munoz. I did.
Okay, so
I thought maybe these would be some choices that you might.
Kluivert for me then. Actually, Chris Wood. It's Chris Wood, isn't it?
Yeah, can I just say Jason Tyndall ended his career at Wycombe Wanderers. So don't you lot be throwing him at me.
Very true. Here you go.
I remember we played Wycombe.
Good research, Bernie. Good research. That we told you yesterday.
I'll have to look into the man I'm supposed to be marrying.
Exactly. Yes, I told you last night at night time.
Yeah, plus he's married to Claudine, whoever she is. Claudine.
Claudine.
Some little riffraff that he found in the clubs.
I don't think did we choose anyone from? Yeah, we must have chose. Did we choose anyone from Villa?
I'm trying to think. I don't want to go with Park.
No, I'm not doing
Rogers should be a shout, you know.
I think Kluivert had a good season. Not at the end, but yeah,
he did nothing from January. JK, look at his numbers from January on.
Yeah, he had a good season till then. He had a
half season. He was banging him in, then boom. Bournemouth dropped off as well, but he dropped it. But they'd done enough work early season. I'm trying to think. I'm just trying to think of someone slightly different, just to throw someone out there. You know.
Yeah, Brian, you want to put Bruno Fernandes in, don't you?
I don't.
I know. It hurts to say it.
That's what I'm saying.
Bruno was the best player on that team.
Well, I'm surprised. His numbers. I mean,
his numbers were very good.
My head, like when I was in my midfield three, I had him, Grav, and Tonali, I think it was, because he had to be in it, but I wasn't going to put him in my team, so I put Gibbs White. But statistically, he's probably one of the best. But
I know Dara's got Anthony Gordon in his selection, but that's not.
And Dai That's my wild card. There's my wild card. And die at Everton.
I was thinking of him when I looked at the
There's
forwards.
my wild card.
Before, I thought he could have had a shout. He did have a good season.
Good shot, to be fair.
Good shout. Good shout. So do you have a second for that?
But from your list, I'd go with.
Oh, it doesn't have to be from this list if you don't want. I just threw. I
from
was just
that,
trying
if
to.
everything, I'd go with
Yeah, I was
Justin
trying to think of
Bieber.
some names. I was trying to get while you guys were talking about Tyndall and the wall.
Yeah, I go with Ndai. Yeah,
Wandering.
as a wild card. Yeah.
Who would it be? Who would it be? Who would you go with? Who would you go with?
JK, Bernie, your second.
Yeah, Lee. Who do you want to? Do you want a second Lee's or a second Brian?
I would take Jared Bowen out of them choices.
It doesn't have to be this choice. You can nominate someone totally. I just put those up just as in.
Where's Saka? Saka
is influencing you.
How about we? How
sub
about
for Mo, yeah, as a sub on the right wing for Mo. I'd have.
how about Wisa or Chris Woods?
I think Wisa had a great season.
Visa is a shout.
I think Wisa, man, and Chris Wood, like for me, Chris
19
Wood,
goals, I think. Visa
I
was
really
19.
like Cole Palmer as well. I think Cole Palmer's really good.
Visa had 19 goals. Yes, he did. 19 goals.
More than
Yeah.
Waymo, and he doesn't take penalties.
No, Guemo had 20.
But Bayman takes penalties.
Yes, he does.
So Wissa actually.
and they're both allowed to leave. You know that, like Brentford are willing to allow both of them to leave. It's just like,
Oh yeah, now's their time to cash in on them.
yeah,
Oh, yeah,
they're thinking now or
cash in
never
on the
anymore.
right time. Bang. They'll have 2 other lads lined up, and in 5 years time or 2 years time, they'll be the next. That's how they're going to do it.
Yeah.
The ball
That's what
and
they need to do.
for
Bring
4
back Ivan
million,
Toney.
They're buying for 4 million. So.
There's talk of him going to Arsenal. There was talk of him actually going to Arsenal about a week ago.
Really?
I was like, are people seriously like? No.
All right. Who are we going with? This is for the final spot on the bench.
Chris Wood.
Evan Nielsen could have been a shout too. Evan Nielsen had
Yeah, man. Yeah, he's just of course, but he's good, man. He's overall play, man. It's very good. Got a bit of the bobbies about him a little bit.
Trying to think of someone else that you could throw in there, maybe.
How about
Iwobi had a great year.
Saliba?
Saliba was the center half choice.
Yeah, he got in.
Okay.
But just to start to create a consensus, I'll go with JK. Yeah, I think Chris Wood deserves a place on the bench. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, so I won't say how two for Chris Wood. I'll say it like that.
Yeah.
I'll need pauses behind that if I had to.
Yeah, BG. Yeah. There you go.
Lee,
sign him.
who do you want to put a vote in for? Do you want to put a vote in for Wood, or do you want to? Excuse me. Do you want to put a vote in for Chris Wood, or do you want to? I know. Or do you want to put a vote in for someone else to get nominated? Or do you have to say Bruno Fernandes because of Tracy?
I'll put João Pedro in from Brighton, although he wasn't even included. I'll put João Pedro in.
Tracy.
João Pedro. Does João Pedro have a second?
Tracy, give me your answer, dude.
I'm so crazy over the love of you.
Oh, for the love of Lee.
It won't be a stylish marriage. I can't afford a garage.
But she looks.
You can tell this is late. I said this was Adult Swim, so I understand. This is why it's karaoke night here. But
Hey, you missed me doing Joe Cocker before. Love lifts up where we belong.
I'm glad I did, by the way.
Thank God you missed it.
Okay. You don't have to bring it back. We're good.
Lee's been chewing razor blades.
It was Dara came on with a Joe Cocker t-shirt on, and we were saying, "Who's that on your t-shirt?" He was saying, "Can't you see?" And it took ages to find out it was Joe Cocker on his t-shirt. So I burst into love lifts and stuff because I like that one. It's quite funny. It made me laugh.
That is funny.
Instead, earnest, heartfelt in it. You know what I mean? It's like one of those ones that make you laugh.
People, I am trying to hold this together. I really am trying to hold it together just to get this
Good
last
luck.
player in.
Good luck.
I really am. Chris Wood has 2 votes.
Yep, that's what I started getting.
And the third one
two from me and Lee.
who did Lee?
Or me and JK. Me and JK.
Yeah,
Lee,
Lee,
excuse me. I did say first Risa or Chris Wood. I did say that very
okay,
first.
so that's 3. That's 3.
So would you make it 3 for Chris Wood then?
Yeah, 3 for Chris Wood.
Okay.
There you go. There you go. There's
So,
3.
Volante, do you want to get a shout in here before we do?
Yeah, Bowen.
Bowen.
Yeah. Yeah, Bowen for me. Yeah.
3-1. 3-1.
Bowen.
All right.
Bowen, Lady B. You want a bow? Bowen?
The Jared Bowen that plays for West Ham?
Okay.
That Bowen.
Bowen, yeah. Not the drink Bowen. Strong Bowen. But Bowen, yeah. That
Strong Bowen.
All right.
strong bow, yeah.
Well, Chris Wood won it by the numbers. So I'll keep him in this today.
6'7" of Kiwi magic.
Well done. I would have actually. It hurts me to say this, but I would have voted for. I probably would have voted for Bruno Fernandes. To be honest with you.
We saved you from that shame.
Traitor.
I know.
I didn't even mention
traitor.
Bruno Fernandes.
But I'm glad I didn't have to.
Right.
That's why.
I'm coming off the stream now.
I'm just
Goodbye.
keeping it transparent. Yeah, there you go. Just keeping it transparent. That's
Well,
scary.
12. You should have been on my show last night. I was utterly flabbergasted, as Lee would say, to find out that 2 of the people that I thought were the biggest Liverpool fans that I know said that they genuinely would take Cristiano Ronaldo at Liverpool next season as a number 9.
Yeah.
Get out.
I
Get
think
out.
you know.
I'm
I think
not joking.
one of them is
The 41-year-old Cristiano Ronaldo.
And
As an
people are
option.
making fun of me for saying Harry Kane.
Yeah, or Harry Kane.
Yes. Certain Irishman wasn't
It wasn't
enthusiastic with that.
I mean, one of them has already given themselves away, but can you guess who those 2 people were?
Oh, I'm assuming Max was probably one of them.
Yes.
I was going to say Max.
Dara?
They're here tonight. Surprise, surprise. It's Lady B.
Oh.
Oh, yeah. Drop me in it. Why don't you?
Oh,
You dropped yourself in. I was shocked.
mean-
I thought I was here. I thought I was having a fever dream. I thought, like, I can take this from Max, but it's like a 40-year-old Cristiano Ronaldo from 2 years in Saudi. It's like, yeah, I can take Max thinking that he can do a job. But Bernie was all on board
No, I wasn't.
on the Ronaldo train.
No, I said what I said was if he was still scoring goals and we needed a striker, would we take him? Why would you not take him if he was still scoring goals? That's what I was trying to say. But you said I was a traitor because
he played for Man United twice.
Yeah.
Yeah, for me, he's too tainted with the stench of Old Trafford, like to ever play for Liverpool.
Cristiano Ronaldo thing.
Yeah,
Sort of.
That's just like would I take Bruno Fernandes at this team? Heck no.
Oh, you're all softy.
Plus, I never liked him anyway. I always hated him. I thought he was a gobshite Ronaldo. He looked like
Yeah, no,
one.
I must admit, Lee, I can't stand the guy, to be honest with you. But I'm just thinking purely on goals. If he was still goal scoring the way he has done, of course, you'd have to look at him. If he
Remember him winking at the camera when Wayne Rooney got sent off England v Portugal in the Euros?
Yeah, but the last time he did that consistently at the highest level was when. No, I mean, I get you, Brian. I know you're only kind of, but Max was like saying you need to look at like he was trying to get us to look at his goal scoring record in Saudi Arabia,
Mm-hmm.
and it was like I didn't realize Max is.
He's the thing I could score.
He's a full-on Ronaldo fanboy. Just put it that way.
Wow. Okay.
And when he's
I felt
Yeah,
like
and when Ronaldo scored that goal, we
I
were
feel quite
we were all
sprightly.
slagging off Ronaldo, and in the background, the Portugal game was going on, and in perfect timing, Ronaldo scored, and Max almost had an orgasm.
He probably went off. I'm sure he did.
Yeah,
I'm sure he
yeah.
did.
Well, I
Uh,
announced, didn't I, Brian? I just said, "Oh, Ronaldo's just scored," and Max,
Mhm.
I told you.
Yeah, right on time, right on cue.
wow.
Too funny. He actually came. I heard this that he came to Liverpool, and we said he's too skinny, and we never signed him.
Oh, I don't know about that.
No,
I didn't
I
hear
heard
that.
this like years ago, like a long time ago.
I'll give
So-
him not Ronaldo credit, but
Oh yeah, we were linked to him. Yeah,
You
Yeah,
heard
yeah.
that, Nante, yeah?
What's goal?
but I
Yeah,
will give,
I
I
hear
will
it.
give, I will give. I was going to say I'll give us as Anfield, like as in us Reds fans, credit in the sense of that we were supportive when he had the incredibly difficult loss of his family member, his daughter, I believe it was.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, he said it out. He came out in the press and said that was a class act, which was really cool for him to say, acknowledge it at least.
Yeah, it was nice that. Glad
But
he
it's
said
like,
that.
it's like Harry Kane as well in a way. They just don't fit, do they, at the club? You know, you could think, well, they could score a lot of goals, but would they fit us? And I don't think either of them really fit us.
Okay. All right. I think Darwin Núñez is suspended, isn't he, from international play right now?
What's he done now?
No,
I think he's
finally,
No, that's for the other
it
thing.
finally was for the suspension for Copa.
All right.
I think he's finally getting that.
Yeah, they appealed it, and it got overturned in January. So this is the first. Well, not overturned. It got overturned like recently, and this is
upheld.
the
It got
first set of
upheld, yeah.
internationals since it got overturned. So they're now banned.
Mhm.
They're only banned for like 3. One of them is banned for 5 games, and the others are banned for 3 games. So, but it's
What
this
about
round of fixtures is the first time they've
teams?
been
Did they
played
get
since.
any banned players? The opposition team.
No, they're just fortunate they're playing Paraguay. That's why I was just wondering. Paraguay is not a
I
good.
think they're playing today, yeah.
They're one of the
Okay.
out of all the teams, they're one of the not so strong teams in South America. I'll put it that way.
Mhm.
Not disrespect.
I think they're playing now. Brazil are playing now.
Oh,
A few
qualified.
qualifiers,
Yeah,
World Cup
Brazil just
qualifiers, yeah.
started.
Still,
they're all
still
big
need
games.
to. Yeah, still need to seal their position, but they're obviously their qualifiers is 6. in
But this
South
is
America.
big. This is Ancelotti. This is the era of Ancelotti.
I mean, he
Oh,
ain't
it's
got
started
much to
already,
work
yeah?
with.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
he's taken over. Yeah, so he's his
Yeah,
first.
yeah.
He's picked his squad.
Yeah.
Yeah,
This first game.
Okay. So Allison's playing bonkers, says.
yeah. But the Brazil squad is just too weak. It's just not. It's too weak.
But Emerson
Well,
Royale played for
Ecuador
Brazil.
is a good team. They're playing Ecuador.
Oh yeah, they could take points.
Could
Ecuador-
anybody say off the top of the head? I'm going to Google it.
Yeah, Brazil have been bad for a long time now. Really,
They
long
have
time.
been, but they got the pigeon at the
Yeah.
striker, so you never know.
Yeah. No, they're still no. I mean, by Brazil standards, I mean they're still fucking Brazil.
Exactly. They got the pigeon.
Yeah.
That's their striker.
No.
That should say volumes right there.
Yeah.
Richarlison started today for Brazil.
That says it all.
Yeah,
That says it all.
he wouldn't even get into the Liverpool team, to be honest with you.
When you get into the reserve team, let alone Liverpool team, bro.
Mm-hmm.
Can I just
There was a statement here by Bonkers who spoke on Rodrigo. He said, breaking, Rodrigo is now likely to leave Real Madrid this summer. The club will demand at least 80 million euros fixed, and the final sale price will be likely around 100 million euros.
I think it's similar to, well, a little bit similar to Lucho, to be honest. I think Liverpool want obviously Lucho to stay. Madrid, they're happy for Rodrigo to stay. I think this is like, if you offer us a certain amount of money, then yeah, of course they'll be like, all right, cool, you can go. But if not, they'll keep him. That's all it is. So when I say it's likely to leave, it's just the fact of you offer me a big amount, 80 mil, 70 plus, and then
Wait a minute.
it's up to him. That's all.
Hmm.
Guys, Ancelotti has managed 9 clubs. And can anybody name them all?
Mhm.
Napoli, Parma,
Napoli,
Everton,
correct.
Yeah, Juventus, AC Milan,
Correct.
PSG.
Parma,
Wait,
PSG.
hold on. PSG, yeah. Chelsea.
Yeah. Correct.
Chelsea, did we get more? Must be most
AC
of them there.
Milan.
Said
Said
that.
that.
Yeah, I said Parma,
Wait,
but I
yeah,
said Parma. I said Napoli.
Said
I said
that.
Everton. Yeah, I said Everton. I said all 3 of those.
How about you've
Bayern Munich.
Oh,
Bayern Munich,
yes,
correct.
Real Madrid.
Correct. You've got
Real Madrid, obviously, yeah.
you've got 2 more to go. Well,
You said Juventus, right?
yeah,
Yeah,
one
no,
you
that's
one,
the
actually one
first
you
club
just
in
Okay.
Italy. Hey,
Parma, right?
one you no
Said that.
one you
Said
just
Parma.
mentioned because he's just started there, so that's Brazil.
Oh,
So we
Brazil.
won't,
Yeah, so that's the 9.
yeah, well,
clubs. Well,
Oh,
but go back 2 clubs, and you've got one in the Premier League you haven't mentioned.
Everton.
who said
Correct.
that?
we said Everton.
Said that.
I
You said that.
didn't know you say that.
Yeah.
Yeah, we said
See,
Everton. Yeah.
baby B, see, no catching up.
I was thinking of Mike Tyndall. Oh no, sorry,
Yeah.
Jason.
Yeah, Jason distracts. So Tracy distracts Lee. Jason distracts you.
No,
Yeah.
I think is it Verona?
Verona.
Oh, the team. I have no idea. The first team he played for or coached?
Yeah, no, one of the teams he managed, first he managed. It's
His early coaching
No.
began in
Vicenza,
Reggiana, Parma.
Reggiana.
Yes, yeah.
Hmm.
Reggiana.
I
I
was
knew there was an early.
just going to bring up the fact that actually what's crazy about this is that yes, he's asking to leave. I get that. Let me make this full screen actually. I get he's asking to leave. However, what's pretty wild about that is he's not even in the lineup for Brazil. He's not injured.
Who's up front for them?
Rodrigo. I mean, that's what I'm speaking on.
Yeah, who's up front for Brazil?
Yeah, he wants out Madrid. He's wanted out Madrid.
You know
for
who's
about a year.
I know who's in front of him, which is wild.
The Pigeon.
No, considering I'm assuming he's going to play right wing. I guess Anthony made the lineup.
Oh,
Yeah, but Rodrigo can still want out of Madrid, just even if he's not starting from it.
I get
Brazil,
that. I'm just talking about the fact,
Yeah.
though. That
Are you
their
sure
names-
Anthony's on the
I mean,
bench?
yeah,
He
it has
wants
nothing to do with
out,
each other. I'm just saying that, like, it's wild that he's not. I mean, maybe one of the reasons why he wants out of Madrid is because he's not getting enough playing time to obviously get himself into the Brazilian team.
Yeah, apparently he's wanted out for about a year now. He's not. Yeah, it's just whatever it is that's going on there for him. He's not very happy.
That's wild. I
I think he's just getting shunted. I think if you saw him he's saying like, "Oh, I don't get to show my best because Vinny is here and Mbappe is here." And I think he's one of those guys. If he went to a team like Liverpool, you'd realize why Madrid paid like whatever they paid, like 40 million quid for him when he was 17, something like that.
Yeah, no, he's a talent. He's an absolute talent.
Yeah.
For sure.
Like they bought him and Vinny at the same time, basically. And there was at the time it was like most people in Brazil were like, "Oh, Vinny Jr., he's a show pony. Rodrigo, he's the real deal," kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Vinny Jr. has always got a lot of shade thrown at him, but it was always kind of picked that Rodrigo was the better talent. So I don't want to see him go to fucking Arsenal or something like that.
No.
You know?
Yeah, the picks they had were Ederson made obviously as a midfielder. Anthony made it as a winger, or forward at least. Martinelli made it, and Cunha both made it as well. That's at least who they have on the bench, at least for right now. The starting front three were Vinicius Jr., Estavio.
Emilio Estevez.
Yes, yeah.
What's the singer?
Sorry,
Estavio.
I haven't heard of this fella.
No, they went with youth. This kid is
Yeah, he's the young. He's the latest so-called prodigy.
He's
I think he's
with Chelsea right now.
Chelsea. Yes, about to say he's the Chelsea one. Yeah. He's on loan. Yeah.
So he was like a big.
But they're desperate, Chelsea, Brazil, man. They're over pushing some of these youngsters quickly. This is the thing.
18 years old. 18 years old.
It make you think, though. You know, like if we got 80 million for Diaz, there must be another young kid out there that coming through could run as fast and. And we could save an awful lot of money and put it to somebody else.
If we had 85 million, I'd say go for Rodrigo. Rodrigo's an incredible talent.
I wouldn't want him.
How much?
24 years old. Talented player.
But how much would he cost?
His player value right now is apparently 90.2 million pounds.
No, not now. I think 80 mil will be enough.
Well, yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah. Cunha, Martinelli, Ederson, all on the bench. That's right. Pretty wild.
Doesn't look like we're going for the unknowns this time, though, does it? It looks like we're going for ready-made.
I mean, Rodrigo's pretty ready-made, I think. He's got a good. I mean, considering he played for Real Madrid, considering he's even though he's not playing for Brazil today. I mean, he has played for Brazil, so he's got a pedigree to him, a little CV to him. All right, well, let's do this real quick then, and let's make sure that so that it's recorded here, and that is.
You need them on your own.
Oops. This was the table for the Fantasy Football League, just so people can see how they ended up. Way to Essay by Mark A. ended up with 2,420 points. Robbie, who was sold team number 6, ended up with 2,351 points. So it was about close to a 60. I'm not gonna say the number. 70, about close to 70 points. A difference between first and second. It was close. Bonkers really was. Bonkers. I had a good final week, which kept me in the top 4. Luckily, kept me in the top 4. I had third place showing with 2,219. Bono had 2,214. 5 points behind was the difference. That was the razor thin. And then JK, who led this league from pretty much the very beginning and was leading for a couple of weeks, giving out tips and telling people what to do and what not to do, and ended up in 5th place. Luckily for him, 5th place means Europe this year. So how about that? So, JK, you there with us?
Unbelievable.
Yeah, I know.
JK's speechless right now.
I know. JK's doing a.
He tried to help and he gets thrown under the bus like that right in the last day of the season. Oh my god!
That's because JK's supposed to be leading this segment, but he's not even here to lead the segment. So he's doing a stage
right. The league.
He's just
speechless.
He's helped too many
absolutely
people.
Speechless now, isn't he? I think someone's giving him. He needs turmeric. Someone get JK 10 cc of turmeric. Stop.
Turmeric tea. He's probably thinking that's the last time I help you lot.
Yeah, that's the last time I do that.
Mate, I'm right into turmeric now on JK's say so. It's a good one. It's a good one for you.
It's anti-inflammatory, isn't it? Turmeric.
It's loads of good things. I looked it up. Actually googled the bastard, like, and
Inject it into your arms.
it said an awful lot of good things. It was good at everything. Good for everything.
Good for everything. That's just like olive oil. Olive oil.
Yeah, the thing is, if you're fucking around with turmeric,
cancer's forming, and I'm all for that.
it's also a dye. It's also a dye. So you get that stuff on something, it's yellow for life.
It's
I was
yellow.
just going to say, Tyndall injects it. You know, so it's tan.
Hey, if I got my teeth fixed up like Tyndall, would you marry me, Bernie?
Oh, wow.
Lee,
Okay. All right.
Lee,
All right.
you don't need to get your teeth fixed up. You're perfect.
Yeah, there you go. There you go.
Tracy's
All right.
talented.
Who knew this was like
Blind
match
date.
game. Yeah,
Love
blind
Island.
date match game or whatever. Bonker says I was lucky. Okay,
Love Island.
Bonkers. There's always next year, man. There's always next year.
You
He had
ain't
a
you were
bad.
lucky,
He
were
had
you?
a bad. Yeah, he had a that week. The final week, he had a bad week. He had 51 points that week.
But Bonkers knows his stuff. He's spot on.
Oh, he's yeah. Bonkers knows his stuff for sure.
I've got that age now in life where they keep getting adverts for supplements, you know, like on like YouTube or whatever.
Well,
Adverts.
all I was saying, no, just all I was saying. Look, to be
goodness.
honest, anybody. Look, I know there's a few more things this year.
Holy crap!
It won't make any, but anybody that got over 2,000 points had a good year. That's even if you're a casual player, anybody got more than 2K, that's a great score. So fair play.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Most
so
of
that's
the
a
league got
strong.
over 2,000.
Well, that's what I'm saying. That's a strong
Yeah.
league. Like, do you know what I mean? Like I've seen, you can win a league with fucking 900 points. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
But
and
that's a strong
Honesty
league.
gave
So,
up too. By the way, Honesty gave up long before, and so
so
did
you can
Trigger.
tell people give. Yeah, you can tell
Yeah.
when they've still got Anthony in their
26
team
points
or
and
something.
35 points at the last week. They'd long given up. Cyber Power was up at the top of the list for a long time. He fell down to the ranks. Livers had two teams in here, so we took his first team. Ian did well too. He almost had 2,000 points. Snoop Oo Doggy Dog was up there for a while too, but he dropped to 12. James had he got into 11th place with a good strong finish. Rasta Crab right in the middle of the table, and then followed by Chris Angel.
A lot of talk from Rasta Crab early doors.
A lot of talk from the streets.
A lot of crabby talk, And just to remind everyone, Mark A, who won it, got the book, the signed book, right?
Yes, he did.
Well done, Mark.
Signed book.
So you're going to have to come up with a new prize now for next year. So suggestions in the chat, suggestions in the comments afterwards for the prize for next season.
Well, first, I think what we should do is get a
weekend in Vegas, maybe. A weekend in Vegas, all on 12th, man.
I think we should get a Dara on a search party for JK first, because he's run around the block. He's annoyed.
You get a weekend at Dara's house. How about that?
Yeah, a weekend in the pool at Dara's. Yeah.
A weekend with Dara's.
Can you imagine it?
Oh, man, that'd be a lot of fun. By the way, Paraguay.
Complimentary nachos.
Paraguay up 1-0, by the way.
There we go. I was about to say it earlier on. Don't throw. Yeah, these. Yeah, don't. Oh, it's only Paraguay. Yeah, that's what happens. Brazil have been so bad, man.
No, it's not Brazil versus Paraguay. It's Uruguay. Uruguay's playing Paraguay.
Oh.
That's why it's yeah.
Is our boy up front? Is he?
No. He's
Oh, sorry, of course. Sorry, yeah. Sorry, of course, yeah.
Yeah, he's
so who starts up front for Uruguay then?
Their front three are they're going with Araujo. They're going with Maximiliano Araujo. They're going with Rodrigo Aguirre. and Aguirre, I guess maybe, and
Yeah.
Facundo
Wrath of God.
Palestri.
For such a small country, they've always sort of punched above their weight, haven't they?
Ever so slightly, yeah.
Yeah.
There's more people in
They
Ireland
are a
than there is
small
in
country.
Uruguay.
They are a very small country. Yeah.
No, they're a tiny country. There's 3 million people in Uruguay. There's more people in Ireland than there is in Uruguay.
But
And they've got fucking 3 World Cups. Two World Cups, I think.
yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Absolutely insane.
3.
Absolutely insane.
Never
No,
seen
yeah.
that
the
shows
players
of
they
the
churn out.
screens have you, where Homer's looking at a globe of the world and he picks out Uruguay and he goes,
You
"Look
were
at this
gay."
country. You are gay." So, God,
Oh my
so
goodness.
childish, but like, you know, it's
Ray,
funny.
you sounded like Michael Jackson then.
Yeah. They do have 2. You're right. You're right, Brian. They have 1930 and 1950 were the 2.
Yeah, they won the first one, because it was in Uruguay and there was like 4 people there. That was it. Like there was, yeah, they won the first one. There was, I think, 6 teams in there or something. And then, yeah, people started taking it seriously. And then the second one was there because they were the holders, I believe. Or no, that was Brazil. Sorry, that was Brazil, wasn't
Yeah,
it?
they played.
Anyway,
They had a strong
and they beat
candidate. They
Brazil.
went against. They beat Brazil
Right.
2-1.
Who was the defender who played for Uruguay? It was Uruguayan, and then he went to I don't know, was it was it Inter Milan he went to? He played in Italy, and they loved him in Italy. He had a big head of. He was a handsome guy with dark hair, and then he went bald in his older years. But he was a really hard defender, tough defender, and he played for Uruguay. Can you think of who it was?
And then he played for Inter Milan.
No, he was in, I can't remember which team in Italy, but he played in Italy, and then he went back to Uruguay. Then,
Did he have like a thick mane of hair when he had hair, and then it was gone?
yeah, he did, and then he went. But he was quite handsome, and then he went. But he wasn't a hang on, was he a goalkeeper? No, just trying to think. I remember seeing him on the documentary about Suarez. And he was talking about Suarez, and he was saying, like how Uruguay does breed some good footballers. And he said, he was known, he was particularly a hard man, this guy. And I remembered him playing for Italy. He played for Italy for a long time, but I just can't think of his name. Just thought you might know him.
Then he went bald. Are you talking about Gabriel Paletta?
I don't know. That doesn't
No.
ring.
He was Argentinian, though. He played for, I thought him up.
I mean, they've had
Cortez.
Uruguayans like Gozine recently, but probably won't be him.
He didn't go bald, though.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what I mean. Yeah, I'm trying to think of the sense of that.
Because you said the bald thing. Now I'm fixated on like some guy with like a proper chrome dome.
Yeah, no, he did used to have a big shock of black hair or dark hair, and then sort of like as
Bordiso is Argentinian.
At the end of his career, he was like bald. He was being interviewed on that Suarez documentary they did.
Cavani.
I'll have to watch the documentary again, and when I find out, I'll tell you, and you'll all know who it is.
It's terrible when you can't think of the name, isn't it?
I won't do. That's too far away.
Well,
Fair play to Marque for winning.
fair play to Marque for winning.
We thought you were so upset after helping everybody, and you slipped down the table that you'd run off.
Nah. It's all good. It's all good. Next season.
Right, next season. There you go.
Next season.
This knows something. Also, 1950 was the last time Uruguay won the World Cup.
I think they're the first winners.
They're also 1930 was the first winning.
Yeah, they won it the first and the second, the whole World War II.
1950 though.
Yeah,
1950 was a good year, good World Cup.
England's out, didn't they?
Yep,
The
because
USA.
England ended up playing the good old US of A, and the result was The
USA won.
the England team went home. They lost 1-0. They lost 1-0 to
Fix.
America. How about that?
That was a fix.
Make the
How
FA gets they wouldn't go for the early World Cups, would they?
Scripted.
What else?
Scripted. That World Cup was scripted.
It was
Yeah,
scripted.
cousins.
Yeah.
Scripted.
Yeah.
Do you remember when people used to say that all the time? Like if Liverpool wouldn't, like the comments, scripted. People don't say it anymore, thank God. But for about a year, that's all people would say after a game went up. Oh, that game was scripted. That game was scripted.
I think what it was, we had Russian in here and all our players.
He scored early in that game. The player that scored in that game was actually it's an interesting player actually that scored in that game.
Anthony Robinson, was he still available? Is he?
Yeah, it was Anthony Robinson scoring from the wing. That's exactly what happened, though. The player that played in that game was a Haitian American, actually. And it was interesting because he played for Haiti before, then he played for America, and then he went back and played for Haiti. So it's kind of interesting.
Yeah, I've heard about that guy. I know I can't remember his name. Don't ask me, but I'd forgotten. But when you said he played for him, then he went back. I remember hearing that story because I've heard a lot of stories about that. Because that is a huge game. That's a really famous game when he beat them.
Yeah.
Nobody was. Yeah, but I heard that Haitian guy, he was never given. If I remember. He never was allowed to live in America, even though like he scored that goal. He was never given citizenship. That's why he went back and played. I think that's why I've heard that story.
Something like that.
Because it's one of those. Hey, guess what? You know that amazing thing that happened? Yeah, the guy that did it, he got fucking screwed over.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. You know.
Do you reckon that could have had anything to do
During
with
that era of America, though, that's not
exactly.
not surprising.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. It was kind of like, yeah, thanks for that, but no, visa denied.
No, that era, that's like right around like the end of, World War II type situation.
Yeah, we still had Russians.
But I think because of Billy, I think because of those 12, he's like one of the only few people ever to play for two. Sorry, Lee. No, sorry. I was just saying because of that, it's like he's also one of those. He's like one of like only like 3 people ever to play for 2 countries in a World Cup.
Exactly. Yeah,
because Haiti played in the World Cup as well. So he played for America and Haiti, and his life story is crazy. Brilliant life story.
I'll try to get his name. I know it's like Joseph Edward something. Joseph Edward Gagens. Joseph Edward Gagens. Yep. Played for did play in club. He did play club professional in the club too as well. He played over in France, but that was also like that era of sports is a difficult era of sports. So
well, Haiti is French as well, so they get to be able to play.
He did play in France. He did play in France.
Yeah, so that's their kind of like link country. That's their kind of colonial country is France. So
yeah, he did play for 2 French teams, but it was difficult. Difficult time. I know because now I'm gonna go blank on his name now. And I was just talking about him too, but it was like
in Haiti, you mean at the time?
About him,
yeah,
he was
that guy from fucking the Footies. What's his name? Is like Jean-Claude, whatever.
Wyclef
Jean. It's like it's the whole fucking
Valier or something like that, or baby Dr. Valier. They were like, I think he was in power there in them years, but he thought he moved to America. This guy, hadn't he? Like,
no, that was like a difficult time for me. I know because I just watched a really good movie on it was on. I think it was done by actually Clint Eastwood, I think, and maybe Steven Spielberg, I think, but I know Clint Eastwood, I think, was involved in it. But they did a show about the men who raised the flag at Iwo Jima, and it was like it depicts like the life of the actual, like, those guys were made into heroes, and they went around. They went around America, and they did like all these rallies and stuff where people would buy like U.S. bonds and stuff, and buy all these different, like, they're going about trying to up nationalism and raise money for the armed forces in America in general. And there was a Native American named Ira Hayes that was a part of it, and he really struggled with like the way he was treated by, obviously they would call him. His nickname was not a good. I'm not even going to say his nickname today. All right, and he was treated poorly, and he ended up like penniless, and died a tragic death, in a sense, a sad death that wasn't deserving. Obviously, no death's deserving, but I mean, for him, it was kind of sad that he was hitching. He was begging. He was walking the streets and stuff, and he was like, it was crazy. But this is someone that was like a national hero,
Yeah,
and that's like during the 50s when
the
reason why they were like they weren't even going to let him be a part of the tour because he was a Native American. That's how sad it was in that era. So again, shout out to Ira Hayes and to all the proud men that fought in the war. But all the same. Still 0-0 in Brazil, Ecuador. 1-0 still in that Paraguay and Uruguay game. Yes, and that Argentina game is going to be on. It's going to be interesting. I don't know if you guys saw that, but McAllister was not too happy about being left out of the lineup, by the way. I don't understand why, considering he is still technically recovering. I don't want to see him get pushed in those games, especially with Argentina. They play him normally.
He's a fighter.
Game, yeah.
Oh, that's what makes Mac. That kind of attitude is what makes him go in for those 50-50s. You can't take the Mac out of Mac. I'm fine with that. If he's a bit pissed off, that's cool.
He is pissed.
That's just what makes him him. He wants to play all the time. He wants to be part of it all the time. Yeah, you can't really separate the man from that. So, yeah, somebody's sitting down and go, hey, look, give it another week, okay? But I want him to be pissed off that he can't play. If you get what I'm saying, I want him to be like that.
I get what you're saying.
I want him to have that kind of attitude.
Yeah, I get what you're saying. They play Chile, and then they play Argentina's going to play Chile, and then they play Chris Angel's love, and also dear to my heart too, Colombia.
Big game, Colombia, Argentina, big game.
I think if anything, Macca should be like, look, you'll most likely be a part of that game, So get your rest. 5 days later, you'll be on the team. You'll most likely be back with them on the team. A lot of good games, though. A lot of good games. I didn't see that game, but I guess Spain and France was a
crazy game.
I'm gonna watch that.
Spain were 4-0 up. They were 4-0 up.
Wow. Wow. Yeah, 5-4 in that game. That's a great game.
Yeah, Mbappe penalty kicked it off. They were 4-0 up. 55 minutes maybe. Mbappe gets a penalty. Back to 4-1, and all of a sudden you've got a madness on your hands. 4-0 goes to 5-4 in the space of a half an hour. Absolutely crazy. And Lee, you're saying you don't like the Nations League? Come on, baby.
I'm a fan now. I'm a fan. Can't wait to see the highlights.
That was just a semi-final. Yeah, but like we were saying earlier on, like this would have been around the friendlies or something. This is at least it's a competitive competition that they've
I was
you
just
know,
going like Klopp. I was jumping on Klopp's bandwagon because he said he didn't like it when it started, so I went with that.
yeah. No, so what have you got now? Spain, Portugal on Sunday. A lot of people that wouldn't really been paying attention, they're like, "I'm gonna see that game last night. What game? Crazy game. Spain versus fucking France, 5-4. Wow, that sounds amazing. Oh yeah, but it's the final at the weekend, Spain versus Portugal. Oh, cool. I'll watch that.
Yeah. I was just looking to see if he was even in the game. Guess maybe is he injured or is he not playing for them? Is Son not playing for South Korea? Guess not. Wow. Some of these games, I guess some of these games. So South Korea won 2-0 against Iraq, but Son was not in the game. Not even in the lineup.
Yeah, I think he's injured at the moment. Yeah.
Must be injured.
He was struggling a bit towards the end of the season, wasn't he? With him not.
He played in that game. That's why he played. He did get subbed in for that game for the Europa final. But yeah, we shall see. We shall see. We shall see. But
you know that they have a thing where, like, you have to do like the military service over there. In South Korea, it's mandatory to do like the military kind of thing.
Yeah.
But there's 2 ways out of that. If you're a footballer, which is to win any medal in the Olympic Games, as a football team. Not obviously, well, I suppose maybe you can kind of have a go with something else, but mainly as a footballer, if you win any medal, i.e. gold, silver, bronze in the Olympics, you become exempt from that military service. Or if you win gold in the Asian Games, you also are exempt from military service over there, which he ended up eventually doing, which was like one of the reasons he didn't transfer to Liverpool.
Excuse me again.
Because Klopp he was going to, like, there was a load of clubs interested in him, but he hadn't done his service, and he'd been dropped from one of the teams, and he hadn't won a medal in either. He ended up getting the exemption by winning the gold in the Asia Games, I think it was. But he could have moved clubs twice. Apparently, we would have bought him once, but he was 12 months away from getting conscripted for 3 years. Now, he kind of put it off, but there was a chance, like, when he was like 25 and he was kind of hitting his peak, that he could have just basically been conscripted to the Korean army for 3 years. And that's obviously a problem, but this is a huge thing over there. So it's like, if you win any medal in the Olympics or you win the gold in the Asia Games, you don't have to do it. So it kind of shows you how probably a lot of motivation for these guys to do well in those competitions. And no surprise that they pretty much do. They're like, you can see, like, when some of them are going nuts when they're scoring goals. You see these highlight reels, like, because that guy's now just saved himself 3 years of a military career. Wow. It's mad. Imagine you just like, Steven Gerrard at the age of 25, sorry, you now have to stop playing football for 3 years and go and be in the British Army.
No, I get that.
That's absolutely insane. You can
It's
imagine
the same, but it's the same, but not the same. But here in America, for instance, there David Robinson, who's a basketball player, played for our version of the Spurs. Okay, San Antonio Spurs.
Yeah, I
He
had his
was,
video game.
yeah. He was
I
a
had his
Navy
video
Academy.
game on the Mega Drive. Yeah.
Yeah, he was a Navy
Robinson's
Academy
basketball.
graduate,
Yeah.
and when you're a graduate, or when you're in the Navy or Army or Air Force, you have to serve. You have to do your time. You have to put in your time and duty. So he had to it was difficult because here's this guy that obviously would get drafted #1 in the draft, but yet he's got to go and do 2 years of service in the armed forces. Almost
No,
as
that game was cool though, man. Because it's like it was his game. So like, if he went in on set on default, he would be the Spurs in it,
Mhm, mhm,
unless you pick someone. And there was like the other obvious, like the EA game. There was
mhm,
like the big game, the NBA game. But I got
mhm.
that game. I always preferred that game. Like Anthony Robbins, or what's his name?
David Robinson.
Dave Robinson's.
Mhm.
I think they just call it like Dave Robinson's basketball. Like they used to do that back in the day with those games. I loved that game, man. It was like even on a Mega Drive, it was really good. Like it was a really good basketball game. But I had never heard of that guy. Never heard of him. But I know I like the Spurs now because it was that they were your default team on that game.
Yeah, well, it was he served as a civil engineering officer, and he got drafted, but he didn't actually play until 2 years after he finished in the Navy. So he went 1983, 1987 was in the Navy Academy, served 2 years in the Navy, and then he got to play in the NBA. Ended up playing and winning a NBA championship, couple of NBA championships. To tell you the truth, played with blank on his name, the Argentinian great. Played with one of France's greats. Like that San Antonio Spurs team was that was they were unique because they were international, and they were very international in the sense that they had Tony Parker as the point guard. They had Ginobili as their shooting guard / off, their three. And then they had and then even when they had Tim Duncan. Tim Duncan's from the Caribbean, actually. I think it's from St. Vincent or something like that, I want to say, or something like that. So they're pretty international. All right, enough of the basketball knowledge. I guess that might have definitely dropped my numbers down quite a bit, and maybe alienated a few in the chat and on the panel, I should say. Shout out to Lady B, who had to drop out, but big up to Lady B for joining us on the panel and giving us her 2 cents worth. Big up to Nolante. Shout out to you, Nolante, for joining from the very gate, pretty much. Yeah. So I'm clapping. I'll clap with you now. Shout out to Brian as well. Give him a round of applause as well for joining us. Big up, big up. I know he's got his own show and channel, so it's not easy making the rounds. Shout out to JK as well. I know he puts in work with Nolante on LRFC, so they do their work and do the good work actually over there. And Scouse Lee in the house. Shout out to Scouse Lee. Big up, Scouse Lee. Staying up late. Appreciate it. I know it was a late start, but yeah, this the striker show that I have for tomorrow is going to be a good one, a very, very good one. I put in a lot of work in it today, with a lot of graphics, a lot of charts and stats and everything else that you love to see. So keep in mind for that. Yes. So, but until tomorrow, I would like to say thank you for everyone for joining us out there. If you watch this on the replay, big up to each and every one of you too. Once again, congratulations to Mark A, and congratulations to every one of our players of the Fantasy Football League that actually put in the work and did an exceptional job, just as Brian said. I mean, some of the scores that we had really were people that were engaged and involved with the game and with the league, and we appreciate that. There's always next year for all of us that didn't. What's the saying? If you're first, you're last, Ricky Bobby style. Or if you're second, you're last. Actually, if you're not first, you're last. So all of us have some work to do and Mark's got some work to do to retain that title next year. So we're going to let you guys go. I know it's late, but enjoyed the show all the same. And we will talk to you guys tomorrow. Definitely big up to each and every one of you, and up the Reds as always.